Ethiopia has unveiled its 10-year development plan themed Ethiopia, an African beacon of prosperity.
Why was policy reform necessary? Which started out with the homegrown economic reform and now is the 10-year prospective plan. Why was it necessary?
The growth that Ethiopia has been registering for the last decade or so lacked quality. The 10-year plan envisions Ethiopia to be an African beacon of prosperity by 2030. And having this vision at the top, it has this overarching goal of ensuring shared prosperity, prosperity in all its dimensions, where every citizen gets his or share of the cake.
We both know that the private sector has not been allowed to grow.
Now the government really understands the bumpy road that the private sector have been through.
How do you plan on then getting growth and achieving some of these fantastic ambitions that you've laid down to be achieved through the private sector?
So the private sector should really come into the driver's seat. We have these interim strategies, for instance, the public-private partnership. So it's really working well, especially in areas of energy and infrastructure. We want to expand that, of course, to other sectors too. So that would really augment the capacities of the private sector.
The plan encompasses the period from July 2020 to 2030. The plan focuses on ensure 10% average GDP growth over the next 10 years, thereby double the current GDP per capita / poverty by half by 2030. According to Fitsum Asefa, Planning and Development Commissioner, the 10-year program has 10 strategic pillars. Some of these pillars include quality economic growth, inclusive and resilient economy, competitive and high productivity economy, and highly sustainable and strong regional economic cooperation and integration.
Ethiopia's economy should stay in the high growth trajectory, and we targeted to register 10% average GDP growth over the 10 years time, and this will enable us slash poverty by half and register a per capita GDP of 2,200 USD, where we position Ethiopia as at middle income countries level.
Which is basically double the current GDP per capita.
Double the current GDP per capita, and also unemployment is targeted to reach to less than 9%. In fact, other goals are also included on the infrastructure side. For instance, energy generation is targeted to reach about 20 gigawatts. And along with that, universal access to electricity in both urban and rural areas. And also, similarly, universal access to safe drinking water in both rural and urban areas over the coming 10 years. Other goals, social goals, which really touch the lives of our citizens, like in human development areas, health, education, that align with the Sustainable Development Goals. The Africa Agenda 2063 are also included to really improve, lives and livelihoods. So the goals include the conventional economic goals and targets, and also other goals and targets to bring about are really inclusive, comprehensive pillars that include economic, social, administrative, and institutional, issues. There are about 10 pillars in this regard. It's worth mentioning really these pillars, and I really want to list them. The first one talks about quality economic growth and shared prosperity, and the second one also can be component of that, but we really want to see that separately as a standalone pillar, because we really lack productivity and competitiveness in all our sectors, and that's the second pillar. The third pillar talks about sustainable development financing. That's also where we failed in the past decade, and so this time around we want to really raise sustainable development finance. And the other one relates to technological capacity and digital economy. So that's also the area that we haven't touched. So that's the fourth pillar. The other pillar talks about really bringing the private sector to the forefront, like the private sector's leadership of the economy and the development. And the other one is building resilient green economy. It has been there, but we have to continue working on that. So our economy should be resistant to any shock, be it natural, man-made, or any kind of shock that we have been witnessing recently. You can see COVID, desert locust, floods, drought. Yeah. The other pillars relate to institutional related pillars. Institutional transformation should happen if we have to continue growing, and also the other pillar about access to justice and public services. The other pillar again relates to development participation, empowerment, and social inclusion. That's also important because the growth that we had registered in the development that came about through that approach was not inclusive, as I mentioned earlier. So that's also important. The final pillar talks about the region. So Ethiopia is not an island. It can't develop separately. So regional development, cooperation and integration, and also building sustainable peace is the last pillar.
The Commissioner further said that the current plan departs from its predecessors, as its success will be measured on result-based monitoring and evaluation system, with better emphasis on accountability, which is preferable in such cases over the usual process-based system. If you want to see the full interview, please check for the link in the video description. You can also get it directly from Office of the Prime Minister Ethiopia YouTube channel. We would like to congratulate the Commissioner, and we wish Ethiopia success. Thank you. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to push the like button and subscribe to our channel if you have not done so already.